everybody, my name is Carmen Shenk. I'm the Tiny House Foodie, and welcome back to Right Sizing Your Kitchen 2018. It is January the 4th, and we're going to talk about recycling and about the zero waste life. One of the surprises for me going tiny was how big of a deal it is to handle trash. Now in a big house, you can have a couple of big trash cans and it's not a big deal. There's enough space for all that. But as soon as you go tiny, there's only space for the things that matter the most. And trust me, trash is not high on that list. But a little bit of trash in a tiny house can quickly become overwhelming. So it has to be something that you think of purposefully, otherwise it's going to make your life a little frustrating. So one of the things that we learned was, and this is one of those things I learned by the mistake I made. I was at the grocery, I saw paper towels on sale, so I bought up a bunch of them, and it wasn't until I got home and looked around my tiny house and wondered, where on earth am I going to put all of these paper towels, that I realized it was time to make a change. So when you've already downsized your clothes, your shoes, your coats, the whole 9 yards, your kitchen, everything, and you don't really downsize those things so you can stuff those extra spaces full of paper towels. Trust me, that's not the reason we do this. So it changed my thinking. I had to find another way. So instead of paper towels, we use washcloths. I have some white ones and I keep some colorful ones, and when they are used and icky, or I treat these like a single-use thing. They do not hang out anywhere in my house long enough to get stinky or gross. I use them once and they go in the laundry. No problem. We've got a whole stack of them, as you can see. And it's not a big deal. It does not actually add anything to the laundry. I don't have to actually do a whole load of those. It's not a big deal. So instead of paper towels, this is what we use. Instead of napkins and tissues, we use handkerchiefs. This is going old school, but this is really, my nose appreciates not having that rough tissue. So I dye them interesting colors and I use these instead. I picked up this book, Zero Waste Home by B. Johnson. It's a very interesting story. Her story of kind of taking it to an extreme. And her extreme was all of the trash that was generated by her household in 1 year could fit in a mason jar, or like a mayonnaise jar. All of their household trash for the year. Now, she tells in the book about how they went to this extreme and then kind of came back from that edge a little bit. So, some of the things she says, we already know: reduce, reuse, recycle. Those are kind of common. And unfortunately in our area, we can't recycle plastic because the system in our community is not set up for plastic, which is ridiculous. So we save it all and take it to a neighboring area where they do take plastic for recycling. So it's an extra step, but we're willing to do it because the effect that plastic is having in the earth is horrible and horrifying on every level. So in the book, she actually also includes rot, and we know that as compost at my house. So I keep a bowl, and I use a silicone lid. Now these are pretty cool because they actually seal pretty well, pretty well. And but yeah, it's still the simplest thing to add a little extra. So like peels and eggshells, coffee grounds, tea grounds, dryer lint, all of that stuff goes in the compost in my house. We also, I made a couple of bags. I have a bunch of fabric. I've been sewing for years, so of course I had all this extra fabric. And so I made a bunch of little bags, and I had the ribbon, I had the fabric. So I made a bunch of little drawstring bags, and we take these to the farmer's market with us. It's really great because if you go, instead of taking the bags that the farmers are selling things in, or the plastic, or the berry basket, or whatever it is, those farmers have to, provide that as well as the product they're selling. So we're always happy to take our cloth bags instead. And when the gentleman wants to sell us the berries in the plastic. We just put the berries in the little cloth bag and hand back the plastic bin. So they get a chance to reuse it, no problem. It's less plastic in my house, which makes me very happy. So I love having the cloth bags, and I would recommend that to anybody. You don't have to make them if that is overwhelming to you. They're readily available. Also in the tiny house, 125 square feet. Trust me, there is not going to be room for a trash can. There's only room for important things, and trash is not an important thing. Unless it starts to overwhelm you, then it becomes an important thing. So we keep a little, what is this? Like a little grocery bag by the door. That's where the trash goes. And we really work hard at keeping it minimal. We don't use a lot of plastic at our house. Everything is recycled as much as possible. So we're not quite at her level to the point where we can fit all of our trash for the year in a mayonnaise jar. But we do pretty well. We've come a long way. So if you're thinking of going tiny, you will actually have to face the whole thing of what do you do with all that trash? Because in a big house, you don't really think about it that much, but in a small space, in our 125 square foot little tiny house, we sure thought of it because it became overwhelming in a hurry. So set up your plan, make your plan now, find places that will take the recyclables that you use. If it's plastic, tin, metal, all of those things, there's some place close to you that will take all of those things. Find those places, get a plan, and work your plan. And that will really help. Believe it or not, it's one of the keys to making life in a tiny house much, much more enjoyable. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Carmen Shenk, the Tiny House Foodie. Thank you for watching my right-sizing your kitchen process. And this is, I guess, a little bit broader than just the kitchen today. I'm Carmen Shenk, reminding you that you can go tiny and that we can enjoy simplicity and that we can eat really well. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.